Welcome to another DCS World video. I'm Chazflyz, and in this video I will go over a Supercarrier Case 3 recovery in the F-14 Tomcat by Heat Blur Simulations. Additional content featured will be the Voice Attack dedicated plugin VAICOM Pro, demonstrating various voice communication extensions for DCS World. Consider this video as an add-on to my previous Case 3 video and the FA-18 Hornet. That video goes a little deeper into real-world operations and theory regarding Marshal Stack entry and expected approach time adjustments. For further realistic flight operations, please consult publicly available NATOPS manuals and virtual squadrons that practice these procedures. Links are in the video description below. We are approximately 50 miles to the south of the Supercarrier George Washington. The weather on the surface consists of heavy rain, wind, and a visibility of 1,200 feet. First, we will dial in the appropriate ATC frequency and let them know we are inbound. Inbound for carrier.
101, Courage Marshal, Case 3 recovery, CV1 approach, expect final bearing 25, altimeter is 29093, 101, Marshal Mothers, 205, radio, 21, DME Angels, 6, expected approach time is 42. 101, read back correct.
Typical real-world operations may see the Marshal Stack as much as 30 degrees offset from the final bearing to the ship. Our Marshal Stack just happens to be on the final bearing to the ship, which will make our holding pattern and commencement easier to manage. Kneeboard. If you have the VAICOM Kneeboard extension, the Case 3 Marshal Stack notes will be automatically stored on the ATC tab. Kneeboard. Verify altimeter setting. Adjust the HUD lighting and filter as desired. Set the interior and exterior lights as required. Set the steer command to TACAN, HUD mode to landing. Set the course knob to the reciprocal of the assigned Marshal radial. TACAN command to PLT. Set the TACAN frequency. This can be found on the Kneeboard and DCS briefing page. Set the XY selector as appropriate. And TACAN mode selector to transmit receive, Tango Romeo. With our initial Marshal Stack setup complete, we can determine that we are about 13 miles from the assigned holding point and slightly west or to the right of the Marshal Radial 205. Let's begin our descent to Angel 6 and begin a right turn to intercept the assigned Marshal Radial. As we approach the Marshal Stack, have your Rio tune the data link radio to the Supercarrier George Washington. Link host Washington.
You got it.
Upon reaching your holding fix, you would report established with your current altitude and fuel state. Established.
101, Roger state 62.
While in the hold, prep for the approach and landing. Set the ARA-63 ICLS power switch to on or the forward position. Set the ICLS channel selector to channel 1. This may be found in the mission briefing page. Heads up display AWL to ACL, VDI AWL to ACL, VDI mode to norm, HSD mode to nav, and the HUD mode to landing if you did not already do so earlier. Next, verify the hook bypass switch is set to carrier. Tail hook lever down. Verify the in-transit red light is extinguished. Wing sweep mode to auto. Anti-skid to off. Middle position. SW cool and MSL prep to off. Verify master arm switch is off. And instruct your RIO to set the radar to standby. Go standby.
Roger.
At this point, I'm keeping an eye on the clock to ensure we cross the 21 DME fix at 42 minutes past the hour, plus or minus 10 seconds. The recommended airspeed to fly is 250 to 300 knots. Adjust your airspeed as necessary to comply with your expected approach time. As we approach the 21 DME fix, slow to 250 knots. Call commencing and throttle to idle for the initial descent. Pitch down about 3 to 4 degrees, aiming for 4,000 feet per minute. Commencing.
101, radar contact, 21 miles. Expect final bearing, 25. 101, switch approach.
Check in.
101, approach, final bearing 2 knots.
At 5,000 feet, call platform and reduce your vertical descent rate to 2,000 feet per minute. The pitch will be around 2 to 3 degrees nose down. Adjust power to maintain 250 knots. Platform.
101, roger.
Level the aircraft at 1,200 feet and readjust the power to maintain 250 knots. Continue tracking the 025 course to the carrier. The pitch attitude to maintain level flight will be around 3 to 4 degrees nose up. Use autopilot as needed to reduce your workload. When instructed to fly bullseye, set the steer command to AWL/PCD and adjust your heading as needed to track the localizer.
101, fly bullseye.
At 10 DME, begin decelerating to configure for landing. Per the F-14 NATOPS manual page 8-9, by 8 DME, gear and flaps shall be down. Complete the landing checklist. Adjust power and trim to maintain 1,200 feet. Set the VEC PCD ACL autopilot selector to ACL, the aft position. Set and verify the autopilot switch to engage, the forward position. Use autothrottle as needed to maintain on-speed angle of attack. Pitch will be around 11 to 12 degrees nose up to maintain level flight. During the entire deceleration and configuration for landing, you will need to be hand flying the aircraft until you capture the glide slope.
ACLS lock on, 6 miles, St. Needles. 101, concur, fly mode 2. Approaching glide path.
With the autopilot CPLR light confirmed and the ILS needles centered, press the autopilot reference/nose wheel steering button to engage the automatic carrier landing system. Ideally, this should occur around 3.5 nautical miles. You will see command control verifying the aircraft is under data link control for landing. Continue guarding the controls in case the ACLS disconnects or the autopilot fails.
3/4 of a mile. Call the ball.
Clara.
You're a little low. You're a little low. You're a little slow.
At touchdown, simultaneously select full military rated thrust and retract the speed brakes to anticipate a bolter. When the aircraft comes to a stop, reduce the thrust to idle,
4 wire.
tail hook up, flaps up, and wing sweep to oversweep. Engage nose wheel steering and clear the runway as quickly as possible. Alright everyone, thank you for flying with me and thanks for watching. See ya at the next video.